Good evening and welcome to Ghana TV9 News. Broadcasting live on television and streaming across all our social media platforms. I am Madan Nadar with your top stories for Tuesday, July 28, 2026. In the headlines tonight, Parliament slashes legal red tape to fast-track hire purchase disputes. MV Bereima tragedy, captain, crew remanded on murder charges as defense slams rush probe. The vessel is likely to remain there. PM gives sobering MV Bereima update. And Parliament approves $54.89 billion multi-sector boost despite raucous MV Bereima protests. Now for the news in depth. 3 MV Bereima crew members, including the captain, were remanded for murder on Tuesday following the vessel's tragic sinking. Captain Kevin Prince, Chief Mate Rondell Roberts, and Goods Superintendent Delon Granderson did not enter a plea before Chief Magistrate Judy Latchman. Defense attorney Dexter Todd immediately condemned the prosecution, arguing that the police investigation was prematurely rushed before the government's commission of inquiry could establish the facts or examine crucial evidence on the seabed. Here's more.
The charges were laid following legal advice from a Director of Public Prosecutions, charged are Captain Kevin Price, known as KP, Chief Mate Rondell Dwayne Roberts, and Goods Superintendent Delon Granderson. The trio appeared before Chief Magistrate Julie Latchman on Tuesday, where the indictable charge was read to them. They were not required to plead, were remanded to prison, and the matter was transferred to Charity Magistrates Court for August 3. Speaking with reporters after the court appearance, attorney Dexter Todd, who is representing the trio, said the investigation was conducted too quickly despite the complexity of the incident and argued that key evidence should first be examined through the commission of inquiry established by the government.
The police have done what the commission of inquiry is supposed to do, and they have already come to a definitive conclusion on this matter. And so we have asked for an early disclosure. This matter was heard before the Chief Magistrate. It was transferred to the Charity Court, where it will be before the Substantive Magistrate, because that's the jurisdictional court. And that we have asked for early disclosure in the matter, which I believe is on the 3rd of August.
Todd said the defense had requested early disclosure of the prosecution's evidence and intends to challenge aspects of the case through preliminary legal arguments. He maintained that the investigation required input from several experts and questioned whether sufficient time had been taken to properly examine the circumstances surrounding the sinking of the vessel. The attorney also argued that the criminal proceedings could affect the work of the Commission of Inquiry, noting that Captain Price is expected to be a key witness. He further questioned how investigators would be able to determine critical evidence, including the vessel's weight, if it remains on the seabed.
The primary persons who will have to talk at the COI is the captain of the vessel. The captain of the vessel will have to appear before a COI. Now this man is in prison. And then you're going to have a second issue. There's something we call sub judice, meaning that if a matter is before one court, then not even a commission can look into the affairs of that matter. So there are going to be barriers.
Police have said the charges were instituted following legal advice from the Director of Public Prosecutions in relation to the deaths arising from the MV Bereima tragedy. The criminal proceedings will now continue before the Charity Magistrates Court, while the separate Commission of Inquiry remains tasked with determining the circumstances that led to one of Guyana's worst maritime disasters. Melanie Morris, Guyana TV9 News.
One survivor of the MV Bereima tragedy has died, raising the toll as the total aboard was revised up to 179 after missing manifest names were discovered. Prime Minister Mark Phillips revealed Monday. The update sparked fierce parliamentary clashes, with the opposition demanding the immediate resignation of Public Works Ministers Juan Edghill and Deodat Indar. Prime Minister Phillips also confirmed the vessel will remain on the seabed due to the hazardous diving conditions. Our reporter has the details.
The update came as opposition members repeatedly called for justice for the victims and greater accountability from the government. Prime Minister Phillips said the search, rescue and recovery operation remains active as authorities continue efforts to locate those who are still missing.
Mr. Speaker, a total of 77 persons were rescued, and one of the persons rescued subsequently died. Search and rescue and recovery operations continued over the period Sunday the 20th, 2026 to present.
While the government initially reported that 133 passengers and crew were aboard the ferry, that figure has since been revised to 179 after investigations confirmed that several survivors and victims were not included in the official passenger manifest. Addressing the Assembly, the Prime Minister said the revised total was established through an analysis of CCTV footage from the goods wharf.
On the 20th of July 2026, the MV Bereima was found resting on the seabed approximately 31 nautical miles northwest of the point of the initiated distress signal that was communicated by the air traffic control tower. This was based on the report made by Mr. Harry Singh, a fisherman, and the assistance provided by local fisherfolk, ExxonMobil Guyana, Vichy, and Sealand Survey vessel Gilligan Island in confirming the vessel's exact position.
Describing the tragedy as one that has caused immeasurable grief across Guyana, the Prime Minister said the government remains committed to supporting survivors and the families of those who lost their loved ones. He also reiterated that a 5-member commission of inquiry has been established to determine the circumstances that led to the capsizing and sinking of the MV Bereima and to identify any failures or negligence. Meanwhile, speaking with reporters on the sidelines of the Parliamentary sitting on Monday, Prime Minister Phillips said raising the vessel is not feasible at this stage because of the difficult conditions at the wreck site. He noted that both local and French divers have assessed the vessel and concluded that additional divers would not change the current situation.
If you listen to the interview with the French, right, the whole issue of raising the vessel has been not been further at this stage because it's difficult to do that exercise now. The vessel is likely to remain there as is. The local divers, the French divers, they're the best. They went inside and outside the vessel. And just listen to their report. It's difficult. Bringing other divers will not change the situation.
The Prime Minister said the vessel is therefore likely to remain on the seabed for now, while search and recovery efforts continue. He stressed that the government's priority remains recovering those still missing and ensuring the Commission of Inquiry establishes exactly what led to one of Guyana's worst maritime disasters.
A $54.89 billion injection for national infrastructure was pushed through Parliament on Monday while the opposition refused to participate in standard debates, choosing instead to protest the government's handling of the MV Bereima tragedy. Details to this report.
Opposition lawmakers declined to participate in the usual questioning of the financial measures, instead chanting and pounding their desks during the proceedings. But despite the disruptions, the additional allocations were approved by the National Assembly. The financial papers included $50.14 billion in capital expenditure and $4.75 billion in current expenditure, with the largest allocation of $19.9 billion going to the Office of the Prime Minister to support the government's gas-to-energy project.
Our government's and our country's strong appreciation of the outstanding work being done by these pioneers in the governance architecture of our Natural Resource Fund. Thank you very much. 7. Loan Agreement number GYP1 dated January 22nd, 2026 between the Government of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana and Japan International Cooperation Agency for an amount up to Japanese yen 5,242 million. The purpose of this agreement is to finance the water supply improvement project.
The Ministry of Housing and Water received another $17.5 billion to support its housing and infrastructure program, while the Ministry of Agriculture was allocated $8.3 billion. That funding included $3 billion for the Guyana Sugar Corporation, with a portion earmarked for retroactive payments to sugar workers, as well as support for rice development and drainage and irrigation works. The Ministry of Public Works was allocated $8.5 billion, including $6 billion for roads and drainage projects and $2.5 billion for hinterland road development. Additional funding approved included $1.1 billion for public utilities and aviation-related works, $337.95 million for health services, and $60 million for the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit.
Supplemental Agreement number 2, dated February 3rd, 2026, between the Government of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana and the Bank of China Limited in respect of financing for the new Demerara River Bridge project. 10. Deferred Payment Agreement dated April 15, 2026, between the Ministry of Finance acting on behalf of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana and the China Camsi Engineering Company Limited for the amount of RMB yuan 190,953,000. The purpose of this agreement is to finance the new Bartica Hospital project. 11. Loan Agreement number 10, ORGY, dated April 27, 2026, between the Cooperative Republic of Guyana and the Caribbean Development Bank for an amount of $50 million. This is the second environmental sector policy-based loan concluded between Guyana and the Caribbean Development Bank.
The supplementary allocations come 6 months after Parliament approved Guyana's record $1.558 trillion national budget, the largest in the country's history. Monday's sitting was repeatedly interrupted by opposition protests over the government's response to the MV Bereima disaster, with calls continuing for accountability from officials. Earlier in the sitting, opposition members declined to ask oral questions listed on the order paper, allowing the Assembly to proceed with written responses before considering the additional spending. Melanie Morris, Guyana TV9 News.
More news after the break. Stay with us.
I know you have work to do, but come, I just need a minute of your time. It won't even take that long. So, I have a proposal. We could do besties in Punta Cana. Really need a getaway. And not to worry, I went to Sunita Travel Agency and they recommended a few hotels that do all-inclusive stays. And they're very affordable. The vibes. Let me tell you something. We do not want to miss a trip to Punta Cana. Why? Ziplining. No, I know this is not your vibe, but please, listen. Hold on. Wait. I know you like Throw It Back. There's a boat party. We could go there. And then there's this thing called Buggy Adventure, some buggy something. I don't know, but I want to be a buggy or whatever it is. I just want to be a part of it. And then we got snorkeling. Oh, this thing is so ugly. Please, you be next to uglier things than this. Stop it. Trust me, you're going to love it. It'll be just you and me, Punta Cana, drinks, just having the time of our life. Not to worry. We've got many flight options, and they made sure that they went through it with me. The prices are affordable. Trust me. I know you like thinking about the budget or whatever. Remember the time when we went and we missed the flight? Yeah, when we booked with Sunita Travel Agency, even if it happens, with slim chance, they'll know what to do and we won't be stranded like we did the last time. This solid plan. You, me, Punta Cana. Cheap. It won't even hurt your pocket. Please say yes. Yes.
Welcome back. You're watching the Guyana TV9 News Bulletin. Men were needed to go out in the rough Atlantic waters after the MV Bereima capsized. A fellow captain contacted Rondell Aman with an urgent message when the call came out around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Both Captain Aman knew the situation was serious. Our reporter has the details. For Aman, a resident of the Lower Pomeroon, there was no time to hesitate. Despite the danger, he prepared his boat and headed into the sea with his 15-year-old daughter by his side. The mission was not about reward or recognition, but it was about saving lives. Battling heavy swells and unpredictable conditions, Aman said his experience on the water gave him the confidence to continue the search. He knew the risk, but he also knew that every minute mattered.
One of my boat colleague captain, he called me about 3 o'clock and he told me the men need some boat to go to the ocean because the steamer sink. And it was tough, it was difficult, but I had to make it because I need to save life.
As the boat moved to the ocean, Aman and his daughter encountered a heartbreaking scene of bodies of victims lost in the tragedy.
I say if we go there and we see life, we're going to save. If we see death, we're going to pick up. So it was a tough part, but we went way on the sea at the big swell in there. But I know the sea good, so it wasn't a problem to me.
Aman said the carefully recovered victims found at sea and coordinated with the Guyana Coast Guard, who later collected them. Despite the emotional toll, he continued working alongside authorities, describing the cooperation as a show of unity during a national tragedy.
Myself and one of my daughter went out there 2 weeks, and yeah, she is 15, and she said, "Daddy, me gonna go with you." And we go out there, we see like about 5 dead. Yeah, we see like about 5 dead, but the dead was different, so we had to watch man one at a time. Yeah. When we find them, we call the base, the Coast Guard, they come and collect, and we cooperate with the situation. With the Coast Guard, they were so nice to me. They give me gasoline, and they give me food, and we had good communication with them. Because they know me well, and I know them, so we work in unity.
The captain said the relationship between local boat operators and the Coast Guard helped make the rescue effort possible. For Aman, the mission will remain a difficult memory, one marked by loss, courage, and the determination of ordinary people who answered the call when help was needed most. Adana Doric, Ghana, TV9 News. Opposition leader Azzuddin Mohammed is calling on the government to grant permission for efforts to refloat the MV Barima, arguing that the vessel should be brought to the surface if there is nothing to hide. His call comes after Prime Minister Brigadier retired Mark Phillips suggested that the sunken vessel could remain on the seabed. The MV Bereima capsized and sank on July 18th while traveling from Georgetown to Port Kaituma, with 179 people reportedly on board. The tragedy has left 73 people dead, 76 rescued, and 30 still missing, according to the latest official figures. Guyanese litigants are no longer restricted by monetary caps when filing hire purchase claims, thanks to a simplified legal framework passed in the National Assembly. Here's more. The Hire Purchase Amendment Bill removes uncertainty over which court has jurisdiction to hear claims under the Act. Previously, monetary limits under the Summary Jurisdiction Petty Debt Act often created confusion over where matters should be filed, resulting in delays and inconsistent legal outcomes. Presenting the bill, Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Honorable Susan Rodriguez, said the amendment is designed to strengthen the administration of justice by giving litigants the flexibility to file hire purchase claims in either the High Court or the Magistrates' Courts, irrespective of the amount involved.
This bill seeks to clarify and strengthen the administration of justice in matters arising under the Act. The amendment before this Honorable House is straightforward, practical, and necessary. Its primary purpose is to remove ambiguity in Section 32 of the Principal Act by expressly providing that any claim or other proceeding arising out of the Hire Purchase Act may be instituted in either the High Court or a Magistrates' Court, irrespective of the monetary value of the claim. Under the current framework, uncertainty also exists regarding the applicability of monetary limitations.
Honorable Rodriguez said the previous legal framework created unnecessary procedural hurdles for consumers, businesses, and financial institutions, often delaying the resolution of disputes because of uncertainty over which court had the authority to hear a matter.
This uncertainty has the potential to create unnecessary procedural obstacles, delays, and inconsistencies. in the administration of matters affecting consumers, businesses, and financial institutions. This amendment therefore provides much needed clarity and certainty. Importantly, Mr. Speaker, the amendment is intended to improve accessibility and convenience for parties involved in hire purchase, credit sales, and conditional sales agreements.
The amendment complements the Hire Purchase Act, which was enacted in 2022 to modernize the legal framework governing hire purchase, credit sale, and conditional sale agreements. The legislation includes consumer protections such as repossession notice requirements and aims to ensure disputes are settled more efficiently, benefiting both consumers and businesses. Adana Dorek, Guyana, TV9 News. More news after the break. Stay with us.
Want to place your death announcements and in memoriam messages on Channel 9? Call 592-761-5006, 710-5008, 600-5006. Or visit our office at Lot 85A Lamaha Street, Albertown, Georgetown, Century 21 Building.
Guyana, Channel 9 is now Guy TV9, proudly under new management. We're building stronger with a balanced and open platform for all advertisers. Whether you're promoting a business, service, or event, your message belongs right here. So choose your spot, news, prime time, or anytime, and reach viewers across Guyana. With affordable rates and professional service, Guy TV9 is your partner in progress. So visit us at Lot 21A, Lamaha Street, Georgetown, in the Century 21 building, or call 600-5006 or 761-5006. Guyana TV9. New leadership, fresh outlook, real results.
Welcome back. You're watching Guyana TV9 News. Now for your Caribbean news brief. Haiti's Provisional Electoral Council CEP has officially scheduled the first round of presidential and legislative elections for December 13, 2026. The landmark announcement includes a constitutional referendum on the same day, with a final runoff vote set for February 21, 2027. Official voter registration has launched across 9 of Haiti's 10 departments. However, election officials cautioned that executing the timeline remains strictly contingent on establishing a secure environment amid ongoing regional gang violence. The CARICOM Eminent Persons Group has officially endorsed the calendar. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Besesar issued a stark public warning stating that wealth, political status, and social standing will no longer protect individuals from criminal prosecution. The statement follows a sweeping national security crackdown targeting white-collar crime, corruption, and elite financial networks. Government officials emphasize that the law will be applied evenly across all social classes to dismantle organized crime and restore public institutional trust. Security forces have been directed to proceed with high-level investigations regardless of the target's economic influence. Turning now to international news. A powerful 6.8 magnitude earthquake struck northwest Japan on Tuesday, collapsing structures, igniting fires, and disrupting major highway networks. State broadcaster accounts confirmed dozens of reported injuries across the region, with the emergency search and rescue team deployed to extract civilians currently trapped inside a shopping center in the town of Kashima. Seismologists warned residents to brace for potential aftershocks as local utilities scramble to assess structural integrity and restore damaged power infrastructure. The United Nations International Organization for Migration IOM issued an urgent global warning Tuesday regarding a massive surge in criminal syndicates trafficking hundreds of thousands of people into forced labor at online scam centers. IOM Director General Amy Pope revealed that highly organized syndicates are increasingly targeting educated, English-speaking professionals via fraudulent social media job advertisements. Upon arrival, victims from over 80 countries have their identity documents seized and face severe violence and debt bondage to compel their participation in digital fraud networks. And those were the stories making the news site. Keep the conversation going online. Follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube platforms at GUI TV9. I'm Adana Doric. Thank you for tuning in and have a safe evening.